Hola estudiante, this is going to be a quick video about VHL. We use Vistas. You can buy the book as an e-textbook, binder, hardback, and you'll also need access to the super site. They give lots of different bundles, however you want to do that. So when you click on the book, this is what your course is going to look like. So here, these are all the assignments, and I've actually been working on some of these assignments. It tells me what I have left. I've got 43 minutes. I've got 9 assignments. This is when they're due. If I click on this, it's going to go to it's going to make it smaller. You can click on the calendar, which is here. So if I start this, you can see I've completed 1. So let's just try this. It's got quite a few answers. So all of these have 2 attempts except for la recapitulación, which has 1 attempt. So this is just a practice activity. So you can keep practicing as much as you want. Some are just a completion grade, and some will give you the opportunity to improve on your grade. So let's just pretend I know what I'm doing and click on all those, and I'm going to submit it. Alright, so this here says retry. So if I retry, the nice thing is I don't have to retry the ones I got correct, only the ones I got incorrect. Also, I can access again the reading by clicking on this. I can access the pages in the textbook if you choose to do the e-textbook by clicking on this. So it's handy. Also, if you have a problem, for example, if you're pretty sure you got the right answer or you don't understand why it's wrong, then you click on Ask Your Instructor, and you can send me a message, and it will be linked with this activity, and I can give you feedback. If I turn to the dashboard, let's say I want to do, let's say I want to do the different set of assignments. So I could do this one if I wanted to. If I wanted to do the vocab quiz, I could start that. And this tells you about the vocab quiz. I can start it. And then it's pretty long, but once you submit, I'll submit anyway, again, it will tell you what's right and what's wrong, and then you have a second attempt. If I look at, so if I can click on the calendar, and this is the lesson test, I could click on there. Let's say I just want to go straight. So you only have 1 attempt at this one. It tells you what you need. You'll need to listen, and once you start, you have as much time as you need to complete it. So these are all the assignments. All the assignments are accessible from day 1 of the course. That means that you can plan and organize your time as you please. If you know you're going away for a few days, then you can do everything on the front end, so you don't have to worry about it. It's a great deal of flexibility. So once you've completed your VHL, they will be due at the beginning of each lección. This is the D12 part of the course. We have the course calendar. This is the same calendar that appears in course content. It's the same one that I sent to you via email, and just at the beginning of each week, a new one will pop up, and it'll tell you what you have to do during that week. These are things that I've not done, so I need to take a quiz, and there's been 4 discussion posts. Content is where you find pretty much everything for the course. So you're going to start here. Now I've only clicked on 2 of the 10 topics. I need to make sure that I go through all these and read the information. Some helpful links to outside sources. And let's click on Lección 1. So I've clicked on 3 of the 23 topics. The calendar, which is for the month, for the whole lección. We have an overview that tells you a little bit about each assignment. This is the same information that features in the syllabus. we have the 2 discussion boards. Participation in discussion is mandatory. You have to post 10 times per lección, and that's 10 times total. So you could do 5 here, 5 here, 2 here, 8 here, 1 here, 9 here. Doesn't make a difference as long as the total is 10. I've got a quiz that you need to take. This is just to remind you that there's homework that you need to do in VHL. This is also a discussion, so these are the icons for discussions where you have to upload your pronunciación. These are Dropbox assignments. So a little word about the escritura. Read the directions. Make sure you include everything. 5 sentences, you must write 5 sentences or you'll be deducted. These are what you must include. You must include 3 examples of nouns and articles. 1 example of ser, 1 example of telling the time. If you don't, you'll lose points. You may only use the present tense. You may know the subjunctive, the preterite, the conditional, the future, whatever it may be. Don't use it. If you use it, it's a 0 grade for grammar. This is deliberate to stop reliance on Google Translate or other online machine translators. Also, vocabulary. Use what you see in your textbook. If you use a dictionary to look up a word, underline it. It shows me that you've not just used an online machine translator, but you have mindfully looked up a word. You know it's a word that you have looked up. You've not just put a whole sentence into a translator. Okay? I do have some guidelines about the how to use an online translator with some videos that appear in the Start Here and HACC module. Okay? So make sure you include everything. There's the Escucha Dropbox. I recommend you practice listening. The more opportunities to listen that you have, the better you will be at listening in Spanish. Words will tend to run on if you're brand new to it. You don't have to understand every word to put a sentence together. Think about the context. The questions are connected to the context, the grammar, the vocabulary. Have your book open, look at the grammar page, listen for question words. ¿Qué? ¿Cómo? ¿Dónde? ¿Cuándo? Yeah? When? Why? Where? So you know what you're listening for. If it's ¿dónde?, they're asking where. Where what? Yeah? ¿Dónde vives? Where do you live? If that may happen to be a question. Next, we have the cultural parts. This is my favorite. It is done in English. The discussion is to help you think about the topic. The topic's linked to the contextos of the chapter, and you need to respond with an essay. You need an introduction, a main body, a conclusion. You need to look at multiple perspectives. Yeah. Support your ideas. Here is one perspective, I think this because. Here's another perspective, I think this because. This is my perspective, I think this because. Evidence can be what you've read or watched. It could be your personal experience. It could be an external resource that you bring in. Just put a link to it at the bottom or cite it. If you're comfortable with APA, do it that way. If you're not, you don't have to. You just need to cite it. Grammar, punctuation. It is a essay. I call it a perspectives essay because you're looking at perspectives. Things to think about here. These are questions to brainstorm. I do not want you to answer them. Question 1, this is the answer. These are just to get you thinking about the topic. The oral is the same assignment as the escritura. Okay? So when you submit your escritura, the earlier you submit, the better. I will give you feedback. Based on that feedback, you will make corrections, make improvements, and then using that as a script, you will read it and submit to the oral. This gives you the opportunity to revise. Revision is key with Spanish. Practice, revision, repeat. It can be tedious, but it's the only way. All these can be accessed directly. Dropbox assignments are located under assessment. Discussions are located under communication. Then at the very bottom there's some additional resources. These are cool little YouTube videos. Senor Jordan does some really good YouTube videos that you can go over. So we've talked about discussions. Here's Connect Yard. Sign up to it. Bonus points. I will post the week at a glance here as well, and you will receive it either by text, by email, LinkedIn, Twitter, whatever you prefer. That's how you'll get it. Smart Thinking, I offer extra credit if you use it for the Spanish and English Dropbox assignments. Make sure you submit it to the right one. There is a writing center, that's English only. There's a Spanish center, that's good for everything else. It takes 24 to 72 hours. Don't do it at the last minute because you won't get it in time, and you must submit your tutor's feedback in order to get extra credit for it. But it's just really good service. It's free, you have unlimited hours. Final thing, grades. All your grades are here. Okay? I grade periodically. At the end of each lección or chapter, I will put in all your grades. Some go in automatically, some I have to put in manually. Once they are in, I will average your grades, and your average will be here. You should check this regularly, especially if you are graduating in December. Please keep on top of your grades. Okay? If something's missing, let me know. There's lots of things I have to press in order to transport grades to the gradebook, and occasionally I miss those, or I accidentally mark something as graded and I've not. So if you've submitted something and it's been longer than 48 hours, just give me a heads up, because I might have skipped over it. If you have any questions at all, post in discussions. Discussions is part of your participation grade. If you post a question in discussions, you might be helping your classmate with the same question. You may also be helping your classmate because they know the answer and it contributes to their participation. This is your classroom. Anything that you want to discuss in private, grades, any personal issues, then my office is email. So send me an email. If you send me a general question via email, I will probably ask you to post it in discussions. Okay? And it just stops me from having to repeat myself to you by answering the same question. So any questions about anything that's appeared in this video, please post in discussions. Thanks.